Hey everybody, movie reviewer next door here, and I'm back with another review. And this time, I kind of picked a random one. I'm gonna watch two movies today, I think. So I kind of picked two random direct-to-video movies that it was. One of them I've already seen is gonna be the next one, and this one from a director that I've already visited that I was just curious to see if I'd find anything in, and that was The Poison Rose from 2019. This film is directed by George Gallo and Francesco Cinquemani. This film comes from 2019. It's from 2019, starring John Travolta, Morgan Freeman, Peter Stormare, Famke Janssen, Robert Patrick, Brendan Fraser, Kat Graham, and Ella Blue Travolta. Now in this film, a down-on-his-luck PI is hired by his old flame to investigate a murder. But while the case at first appears routine, it slowly reveals itself to be a complex interwoven web of crimes, suspects, and dead bodies. So, what did I think of this film? I think it's better than the director's other film, but I'd still only call it decent. I can see people's issues with it. It is a bit slow, it is a bit meandering at certain points, but this film kind of goes off the rails near the second half, and I'm not saying in a bad way. It's very interesting in the second half. And there's actually quite a bit happening in the second half. I just wish more of the movie was like that. Because, I'm gonna admit, John Travolta's not that bad in this. He's not really someone I have a lot of issues with in this. So, let me just get to the actors. John Travolta is Carson Phillips. He is the PI. He doesn't do a bad job. He's actually pretty decent here. He plays the role well. I'm kind of glad they didn't go for the whole, Don's like PI, but also, all of these young women fawn over him. At times, that can feel a bit distracting. He didn't do that here, and I think he actually did a decent job. Morgan Freeman is Doc. He's an old friend of Carson's. He does decent work here, too. I'm not going to say you could tell, but he's not giving his usual gusto. He doesn't really have a moment where he lets loose. But I still don't mind him in the film. Famke Janssen is Jane Hunt. She is the old flame in the summary of John Travolta's. I have always liked Famke Janssen. I recently saw her in Goldeneye. I think that is her best performance. I think I would love to see her top that performance. But I wish she'd take more roles like that. I know she's, getting into her 50s, I think. So you can't really take a femme fatale role anymore, but I'd like to see her try it still. But she works here. I like her. I've always liked her. I can watch her in anything. And she's still hot, just to be honest. Peter Stormare is Slide. He's kind of this, hippie character. He was fun. He's not in the film a ton, but he's fun. Robert Patrick as Chief Walsh. I wish he was in the film more, because I actually do rather like Robert Patrick, and ever since Terminator 2, I don't think he's ever gotten a big role like that ever again. There are films that I want to see with him. There's that 1 PM Entertainment movie I can't think of the name of that I've heard great things from people about. Last movie I remember seeing him in was The Protege with Maggie Q, Samuel Jackson, and what's his frickin' name? Michael Keaton. Yeah. That was a decent movie. It was a fun, pretty violent action movie from Martin Campbell. But yeah, I want to see him in more. Kat Graham is Rose. She could be in the film more. I did like her. I've never seen her before. Apparently, she's an actress, singer, model, dancer. Her singing wasn't bad. She sang in quite a few scenes in the movie, and She's not a bad singer, that's for sure. Um, but yeah, she was pretty, very pretty. But yeah, I'd actually be interested in checking out more of her stuff. Brendan Fraser as Dr. Miles Mitchell. This is a, as many reviews say, pre-whale Brendan Fraser performance. He is a bit on the chunkier side. I understand it given all the shit that he went through, the rape, the abuse by Hollywood, being completely, I blame The Rock. A big part of it I blame on Dwayne Johnson, because he just stole Brendan Fraser's franchise from him and just basically fucked him over, irreversibly. So Dwayne Johnson can rot in hell for all I care. Brendan Fraser's performance here is a lot of fun. He has fun with it, and I love that. I love that even in the smallest roles in films, he'll just be like, okay, I'm gonna have fun here. He plays a doctor who's like kind of shady. You think something's going on with him, and he's got a bit of a lisp. And I find characters like that funny. I just do. I thought he was a nice comedic touch, or just a nice, interesting character for this type of movie. This movie needed more characters like that. It needed more like colorful characters to like subvert the neo-noir, like normal serious tone, like give it a bit more of a fun tone like that. Because if more of the characters were like Brendan Fraser and acted like Brendan Fraser, I would have had more fun with this. But yeah, Brendan Fraser, he's like trying to do a Texan accent, I guess, and it comes off Southern Belle. And as someone who has heritage in Texas, my dad was from Texas, he didn't do a terrible job. It's just that it came off more gay and it was funny to me. He was just like, my oh my, I remember you. And no, it's more, my oh my, I remember you. It's like a slight lisp. I can't really do it. It sounds like Josh Lucas in like the Firm show. If anyone's seen that show, The Firm, based on the movie. It's kind of like how Josh Lucas sounds in that. I love Josh Lucas too. I love him. One of the biggest, most underrated actors of his time. But he does that too. But yeah, this is a fun performance. It's the most fun performance in the movie. I wish more of it did that. But also Ella Blue Travolta. I'm pretty sure she's just, yeah, she's John Travolta's daughter. Yeah, as Rebecca Hunt, she's the daughter of Famke Janssen's character Jane Hunt, and turns out to be Travolta's daughter. That's not a spoiler. Travolta's character's daughter, I mean. She's not that great. I'm gonna keep it a buck. She's not. It's, I'm not gonna say it's clear, but I'm guessing she got the role because her dad was in the movie and they needed more actors. So she probably didn't get paid a lot, which, whatever. I mean, she didn't do that great of a job. But yeah, this film, would I ever watch it again? Probably not, if I'm gonna be honest. Even though I gave it a 7, and usually 7 to 10s I could watch again, I don't really see myself revisiting this. It's mostly a 7 because of some like pretty fun moments and the fact that it does quite pick up in the third act. And I thought the third act was fun. There's some decent action, there's some decent funny bits. There's a bit where John Travolta like runs out of ammo in his revolver and there's the Hispanic goon like shooting at him. And he, because he used to be a football player, he throws a football and like hits the guy square in the nose. I thought that was fun. There's a bit where John Travolta like throws dirt in someone's face to incapacitate them. I thought that was fun. There are some funny moments throughout this. And not like so bad it's good funny moments. I mean like actual moments that like liven this film up. that without them I would have easily given this a 6. This film just needed more of that. It needed more of a light touch. It needed to take itself not as serious. I think the director's other film, George Gallo, the main director, I think, his other film, Middlemen, is also kind of like this. I've never seen it, though. The only film I've seen from this director is Vanquish. There are movies from him that I'm actually curious about, like Columbus Circle and, well, Middlemen. There's another film called The Comeback Trail with Tommy Lee Jones, Robert De Niro, and Morgan Freeman, which looks kind of fun. Like it could be fun. But yeah, the director's other film that I have seen was Vanquish with Ruby Rose and Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman wasn't that great in that. He's also barely in it, even though he got first billing. And Ruby Rose, I don't hate Ruby Rose. I don't. I think she was actually pretty good in John Wick Chapter 2. She needed to be in it more. That's a part of my issue with that film, is that the main villain is kind of garbage. He's not threatening. It's kind of just like, oh, we're gonna be like, oh, you owe me, John Wick, so I'm gonna burn down your house. That bullshit. I have so many issues with John Wick Chapter 2. Also the action being kind of But yeah, like, I don't hate Ruby Rose. I think she needs to pick better scripts, better directors. Because, like, I know I'm going on a tangent about something that has nothing to do with this movie. The movies I've seen her in have been John Wick Chapter 2, Vanquish, The Doorman, SAS Red Notice. I liked her in SAS Red Notice. I thought she was fine. But in The Doorman, they gave her nothing to do. Her action scenes were very flat. And Ryuhei Kitamura should have known better than to waste Jean Reno and not even make him the main villain. Like, the fact that you put him in the movie just to tease us with him, like, being more of a villain later, just fuck off. And SAS Red Notice was a fun action movie. But yeah, I think she deserves a better chance. She needs to be in more films that play to her strengths, which is the action, and don't give her a bunch of emotional scenes, because that doesn't work. But yeah, on with this film again. This film, yeah, it's kind of a neo-noir film. It's not going for, like, action spectacle. The action scenes are there. Yes, there's CGI blood. The CGI blood looks okay. There's, like, a shootout after Carson gets dropped off in the middle of the street against, like, these guys that are after him. There's a shootout in a drug lab. Like, there's not a ton of action. There's the shootout in the football field. They're fine. I had a bit of fun with them. I mean, I understand. It's a film noir. They're mostly relying on the dialogue, which the dialogue is alright. Mostly I was just invested in the story because I was curious, like, what the ending twist was going to be, and I knew this was going to be one of those movies that at the very end they'd subvert your expectations and be like, oh no, that wasn't the twist, this is the twist. Which I was fine with it, because I actually do think the twist was well done. It's an interesting twist. It was set up well throughout the film. The person that I thought killed so-and-so, this is not a spoiler, the person I thought actually did it, I was actually pretty off. So, the fact that they subverted my expectations well and didn't just pull it out of their ass and it made sense, I can give them credit for that. Because there are Hollywood movies that, like, cost $50 or $70 million that are murder mysteries that have some of the worst twists ever. Scream 2, no one can tell me reveal the killer in Scream 2. The killers in Scream 2. wasn't bullshit because it was rewritten because the original killer was revealed like through an internet thing, like the script got leaked online and they had to rewrite it really quick. So we got two random fucking characters that were barely in the movie. So there's barely any setup for it, and that's part of my issues with Scream 2, the twists. Like, none of the Scream twists really work other than the first one up until the fourth. Because the third pulls it out of its ass, too. But yeah, I keep going to other things because... Not that I hate this film. I think it's fine. It's decent. But that's the thing. It's kind of just that. There's nothing super special about it other than the bits of humor, which I wish there were more of. I want to see a film noir that doesn't take itself so serious. I would love that. Because I think that would be a very fun opportunity to have like a... you know, a bit of a lighter touch. I thought that would be fun. But yeah, I guess that's all I have to say, so I guess I'll get the pros and cons. John Travolta, Morgan Freeman, Peter Stormare, Famke Janssen, Robert Patrick, especially Brendan Fraser, Cat Graham. They all do decent jobs. Decent to good jobs. The direction by George Gallo, I will say it's improved from Vanquish, even though Vanquish was after this. The direction here is better. I think he's mostly a writer, because the back of the Blu-ray says from the writer of Bad Boys and Midnight Run, which I guess that's a good a good thing to say. I've never seen Bad Boys or Midnight Run. I guess that's how he can get a hold of Robert De Niro, because he worked on Midnight Run. But I haven't seen Bad Boys. I have 1, 2, and 3, so sometime I will. But yeah, from the writer of Midnight Run and Bad Boys. The Vanquish Blu-ray says from the director of Double Take, Middlemen, and Poison Rose, which is interesting. He was like, I'm so happy about this. I'm not going to blame him. Whatever. I thought it was decent. There were some decent editing flourishes I thought were fine. I like the crossfades. I think it works with the setting. It never got too distracting. The music by Aldo Shaku, Shlaku, was it was decent. It worked. I didn't mind the comedic moments again. I think like there's a bit where he goes to the sanitarium and this one woman greets him, and she's like, "Oh, were you the person from the institute?" And he's like, "Oh no, I'm just here to visit a friend." And then he's like, "Do you work here?" And then a bunch of like people come out and say, "It's time for your meds." I know it's kind of dark. I know, laughing at people who are a bit loopy. I understand. But it did get a chuckle out of me, as did Brendan Fraser's introduction, because I was waiting to hear what he sounded like, and the voice that came out did make me actually laugh pretty loud. So, I will give this film that. It subverted my expectations on Brendan Fraser. But yeah, cons... I do wish a bit more happened in the first half. I do wish it flowed a bit better. It is 96 minutes, or 98 minutes. I will say, it's not super long. If this was 2 hours, I would definitely be slagging it off for that. Again, Ella Blue Travolta, she's really not good. It's pretty distracting, the scenes between her and John Travolta, her dad, I guess, because you're supposed to have this like friendly banter, because they've just learned that she's his daughter, that he walked out on his girlfriend, Famke Janssen's character. It's a bit awkward. I wish they could have done a bit better. It's weird. How can you act against your own daughter and not sell that you're the father? Like, I know. I'm making fun. Whatever. Again, some of the action could have used a bit of work on the editing. But other than that, it's not like the fact that I can't come up with a ton of cons. It's a competently made film. It is. There's nothing inherently terrible about it. These reviews that are being like 2 stars out of 5, 1 star out of 5. John Travolta's fast becoming a laughingstock. Like, piss poor Travolta drivel. Like, I don't understand. Oh my god. This person went way too fucking far. I know this review's from 2019 before we heard all the stuff about Brendan Fraser, but Fraser's appearance shocked me. This guy was a handsome action star. That divorce of his must have destroyed his self-esteem, because even though he's playing a disheveled doctor, you can tell those matinee looks have gone. Andy Summers, what the fuck are you talking about? Wow. An actor's not worth anything when they aren't gorgeous, huh? An actor goes through a divorce and they actually have to, like, take movie jobs in order to pay off the divorce. It's not like that happens to many people, Dolph Lundgren. And people made fun of Dolph Lundgren for the movies he made during that time, which he might still be paying for it. I don't fucking know. But yeah, these people are assholes. But yeah, I'm still willing to give Brendan Fraser another chance. I'd love to see more of his films. I still have never seen the Mummy movies. The movies I remember from him are like Looney Tunes Back in Action. But yeah, he's fun here. I really like him here. I don't understand why people have an issue. But yeah. That's my review of The Poison Rose. If you like the review, comment down below. Like, subscribe, whatever. And